Hello everybody, welcome to Also Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already and drop a like on this video. I am trying to hit 100K on this channel by the end of the year, so your subscription would be much appreciated. In today's video, it's really a combination of two topics because neither of them are really individual video worthy, I don't think, but I just wanted to cover the both of them. And the first one is Kevin Love and the fact that he doesn't want to be bought out. And then the second one is Rajon Rondo returning to the Lakers. Neither of these I think I could talk about at length, so I'm just going to combine the two. And hopefully the video is 8 minutes. So Kevin Love, the reason that this is a discussion is, of course, the signing of Lauri Markkanen to the Cavs. They have Evan Mobley and Markkanen now as fours on the team. Kevin Love has barely played with the Cavs ever since LeBron has left. In fact, I'm pretty sure he only played more than like 10 games in the season that followed LeBron leaving, and then since then he has barely touched the floor. He played 21 games the first season there, but he played 56 in the 2020 season, and then he only played 25 this year. He, of course, was being a little pouty, and there were certain clips, though I will say Kevin Love is a player who is known for struggling with mental health, so I won't be too hard on him for that, but there was a lot of poor body language on the floor. Now, the reason why there's talks of him being bought out is they have these front court players who need a lot of minutes, not a lot of opportunity for Kevin Love in that, and because of that, he didn't really have a place on this team anyways, but now that's especially the case with signing Lauri Markkanen. So a lot of people are like, hey, let's see Kevin Love get bought out. But the thing about that is, Kevin Love, if I pull up his current contract, next year, over the next 2 years, he makes $60 million. So he doesn't really want to turn that money away, which is understandable. So that's kind of the whole point that I want to make with this video, with this section of this video, is that it's fine that Kevin Love doesn't want to be bought out. It's completely understandable. Like, I saw a take that was something like, not every player cares that much about winning rings. Some of them just want to collect a paycheck playing basketball. Or some of them just want to collect a paycheck, period, and playing basketball is how they manage to do it. And that's pretty much exactly what I think Kevin Love is doing. He's like, look, my best days are behind me. I've already won a ring, and I want $60 million. So odds are Kevin Love plays out the rest of his contract, or at the very least he plays out this following season, the 2021-22 season. I could see a team being willing to trade for him and his contract when there's only 1 year on it and they weren't going to be making any other move otherwise. Like, let's say there is a team that has some expiring 1 year contracts and the salary combined can get to $30 million and the players aren't that great. Might as well just trade for Kevin Love and same salary, but hopefully a better player. I think that's fairly reasonable, and that's plausible that Kevin Love could be traded in the 2022-23 season, but no team is going to trade for him with him being a hindrance on their future cap sheet, even if it's just for 1 year into the future. So I seriously doubt Kevin Love gets traded, and the odds are he probably barely plays next season too, just like he has played a combined 100 games over the last 3 years or so. Around 100 games. 103 if I'm doing the math correctly, which I very well could be not because I'm an idiot. But yeah, that's fairly reasonable. I don't understand why there's so much pressure on him to drop that contract. I mean, I do understand to an extent because it's like, it's an older player who was all-star caliber, probably isn't anymore, but still a guy who, at least the last time he had a competent roster around him, was an all-star in 2018. But the guy is just... He just wants to make his money, and I completely respect that, and I don't think there needs to be pressure on Kevin Love. That said, I mentioned the poor body language, the pouting. I think he initially in Colin Sexton's rookie year complained about him to the media, or at least it was suspected he was the one among the Cavs veterans who was unhappy with him and how he played, because that was a debacle that happened in his rookie year where it was like, Cavs veterans unhappy with Colin Sexton's play style. He doesn't know how to play basketball or something like that. But Kevin Love, the point that I was getting to, you can't act like that while also not being willing to be bought out. Like, if you're going to collect your paycheck under poor circumstances and that's the decision you've made, then you kind of just got to deal with that and don't be a fucking baby about it. So that's the deal with Kevin Love. Moving on to Rajon Rondo to the Lakers. Rajon Rondo got bought out by the Memphis Grizzlies, which was it was the Memphis Grizzlies, right? Yeah, he got bought out by the Memphis Grizzlies, which I was like, I guess that was his, but per his request, because if I was the Grizzlies, I probably would have kept Rondo. Granted, Tyus Jones was better than him, but and that might piss some people off, but it's true. But maybe like some veteran leadership type things, stuff to teach Ja Morant, like saying, hey, dribble out the entire shot clock and then pass the ball so you can get assists. Shots fired. But they bought him out. It's not official yet, but he's going to be signing with the Lakers. And the question from me is, does Rondo even see playoff minutes with this Lakers team? Because like the justification for Rondo on the Lakers in the past, the justification for him getting minutes was, hey, another playmaker outside of just LeBron, because obviously 2020, LeBron was pretty much the lone playmaker outside of Rondo. So the reason you wanted Rondo was, hey, he can play make for you. And sure, he did that. He had moments in the playoffs where he was really pivotal with that. Like playoff Rondo is really hit or miss now. It was absolutely a thing. I can attest to that as a Bulls fan for what he did in that Celtics series before he got injured in 2018. But it's not a consistent thing. And the need for playmaking is kind of non-existent now on this Lakers team because LeBron and Steph, that would be ridiculous. LeBron and Westbrook together is one of the best playmaking duos in the league, if not the best playmaking duo. The only other thing that I can think of that competes with that would be Steph Curry and Draymond Green. And hopefully I'm not missing some obvious example right now, but I don't think I am. Lonzo and DeRozan wouldn't be a bad pick for that, but we obviously haven't seen them play together. But regardless, the primary thing that Rondo brings to the table, which is his playmaking, is not that necessary on this team anymore. It's really not even not that necessary. It's not necessary. So then you go, what does he do next? Is he a great defensive player? No, not really. Is he a great three-point shooter? No, not really. Now, he has been a good bit better as of late. Last season, he actually shot 40% from three in total. Granted, that was on just a 45-game sample size. But over the past few years, let's just say from when he joined the Lakers to now, he has shot 36% from three on 2.6 attempts. His volume is low. And the attempts that he does get are usually open, so it's not like he's a good shooter. He's not a bad one as he used to be, but Rondo is still not a good shooter. So really, he's not going to play a lot of minutes. His playmaking is not necessary to this team. His shooting is whatever. His defense is not great. We're playing him for rebounding because you don't need that. You have Anthony Davis, presumably a center in the starting lineup, at least in the regular season, and then Russell Westbrook, LeBron James. Like, you have rebounding on lock. Even Carmelo Anthony's a good rebounder for his position. So, not necessary. I don't think Rondo brings much to the table with his Lakers team, and I imagine come playoff time, he's only going to play in like games that are like kind of already decided, and it's like, hey, let's give some guys some rest. We'll have Rondo come in and be the playmaker for the last 8 minutes of this game or whatever. That's pretty much the only spot he's going to have on this team, and he could very well be aware of that and is just trying to ring collect. But like, ultimately, I don't think this move is very pivotal, but worthy of mention and worthy of talking about briefly. Anyways, I'm going to do these videos intermittently when it's like a few small things happening. Of course, my dog starts barking at the end. At least she waited to the end. But yeah, anytime there's like a couple of small topics together that I don't really think are video worthy individually, I'm going to mash them together in like a grab bag type situation. Like, it's like, here's some small things, let's talk about it. Anyways, that is it. Goodbye.